You know, when you think crypto, you probably think Bitcoin, right? But what if I told you the real story right now isn't about Bitcoin at all? It's about where all that money is going instead. A huge shift is underway, and we're going to break it all down. So, Bitcoin's kind of taking a breather, just chilling out after its big run. But the rest of the crypto world? Oh, it's buzzing. And that leads to the big question, right? If the smart money isn't just flooding into Bitcoin anymore, then where on earth is it heading? Well, what's happening is something we see in markets all the time. It's called capital rotation. Think of it like this. When the star player, that's Bitcoin for us, decides to sit on the bench for a bit, investors start hunting for the next big opportunity. They rotate their funds into assets that have a hot new story. And believe me, that's exactly what's defining the crypto market today. And this chart, it lays it all out for us. You can literally see the money flowing out of the Bitcoin bucket and splashing into four other pools. We've got privacy, we've got infrastructure, we have real-world assets, and then there's this wild one we're calling culture. So let's dive into each one. All right, first up, privacy and performance plays. The search for anonymity and speed. This first big trend is actually two ideas matched together, and they're both getting a ton of attention and cash right now. We're talking about the need to be anonymous and the need to be incredibly fast. So, why are privacy coins suddenly back in the spotlight? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. Every time you turn around, you hear more talk about new regulations and, let's be honest, surveillance. People are starting to think, hey, maybe being able to do things privately is going to be a big deal. Investors are placing their bets that in a world with more eyes watching, anonymity is going to be worth a fortune. And this isn't just talk either. Take a look at Zcash. It's one of the big names in privacy. An 18% jump in just 24 hours. That's a massive signal from the market. It tells you there's real money, serious money, backing this idea, and it's happening whether Bitcoin is going up, down, or sideways. Okay, so Zcash is all about being anonymous, flying under the radar. But on the flip side, you've got this project called Monad, and it's grabbing attention for a totally different reason. Speed. We're talking pure, mind-blowing speed. They're promising 10,000 transactions per second. That's insane. So you see, the market's betting on two horses here, the private one and the super, super fast one. So what's the big deal with Monad? Well, the buzz is that it's trying to be the best of both worlds. Basically, it's aiming for the crazy speed of something like Solana, but with the comfort and ease of building on Ethereum, which all the developers already know and love. People are calling it the ETH-compatible Solana, and that's a story that gets investors really excited. They're thinking about the future, about a world where everything, games, finance, you name it, runs on a blockchain. All right, let's move on to the next big trend, real-world assets go digital. This one is all about building a bridge between the crypto world and, well, the real world. We're talking about real-world assets, or RWAs for short. The whole idea is to take tangible stuff from traditional finance and bring it over into DeFi, which is just that global, always-on financial system built on crypto. I know, tokenization can sound super complicated, but it's really not. Let's break it down. A company like Ondo Finance takes something super traditional, like a US Treasury bond, then they basically create a digital receipt for it, a token that lives on the blockchain. And just like that, boom, that boring old government bond can now be traded by anyone, anywhere, 24/7. It's pretty wild. And the potential here, it's just staggering. We're not talking about a small little corner of the market. We're talking about a market that some people think could hit trillions of dollars. Trillions! This is what everyone sees as the big on-ramp for Wall Street, for the huge financial players to finally get into crypto in a big way. And that's why this story is getting so much attention. Okay, let's talk about our last category, culture, hype, and risk. Now this is where things get really exciting and frankly really dangerous. This is the consumer side of crypto. It's all about brands, pop culture, pure hype, and yeah, a whole lot of speculation. And if you want a perfect example, look no further than Pudgy Penguins. I mean, this thing started out as just a bunch of JPEGs, right? Now it's a full-blown brand. They're doing deals with DreamWorks. They've got toys in stores. It's the ultimate proof that a brand born in crypto can actually cross over and become a real-world phenomenon. But, and this is a big but, for every success story like that, there's a flip side, a cautionary tale. Look at this chart. You see the token for Pudgy Penguins doing okay? But then look at this other thing, ironically called stable, which just tanked, down 19%. This is the brutal truth of this space. The rewards can be huge, but you're always walking hand in hand with the risk of getting absolutely wrecked. Yeah, this part of the market is the Wild West. It's incredibly volatile. The money that pours in chasing the hype can disappear in the blink of an eye. It really is a stark reminder that once you venture outside of the big, established names like Bitcoin, the risks just go through the roof. All right, so we've got privacy, speed, real-world assets, and culture. Four totally different stories playing out. Let's take a step back and tie this all together. What does this all mean? Even with all this money sloshing around, you have to remember, Bitcoin is still the anchor. It's the sun that the rest of the crypto solar system orbits around. Its gravity keeps everything from flying off into space. So while all these other exciting stories are happening, everybody, and I mean everybody, still has one eye on Bitcoin. That $92,000 level is a huge pivot point for the whole market. In a weird way, Bitcoin's stability is what gives all these other, riskier plays the room to even exist. So let's wrap this up. What are the big things to take away from all this? First, the money is on the move. It's not just a Bitcoin story anymore. It's flowing into very specific narratives. Second, things like privacy, infrastructure, and real-world assets aren't just built on hype. They've got real-world reasons driving them. Third, this is actually a sign the market is growing up. We're seeing different sectors that can thrive on their own. And last but not least, never forget that the culture stuff is where you find the lottery tickets. Insane upside, but also a very real chance of losing it all. What this all really shows us is that the crypto market is way more interesting and complicated than it used to be. It's not just about one coin anymore. It's a battleground of competing ideas, technologies, and stories. So that leaves us with one last question for you to think about. In a market full of all these competing stories, which one are you going to be watching?